So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Damage Does D&D in our campaign Helloran Rising. Welcome, everyone, back from the Christmas break. I hope you had a lovely time and got lots of shiny new goblin toys. I know I did. So, the last we were here was quite interesting. You took a ferry across to get into Dar, with both Melissa and Snow warning the dwarves that this is not the safest of cities. You made your way to the trading post and reported the shipwreck of the Chenery and the fact that Mikkel and his crew are stranded on that island. You also reported the sinking of the Antiva. Gus almost loses some of the gems on his armour as an orc is caught trying to prise them out from underneath his cloak. Chasing the orc off, Melissa takes you all via the safest route that she knows to her temple. Along the way, she notes that the Temple of Rest is now boarded up, which is a bit of a shame as it was one of the more friendly temples in the city. Arriving at the temple of the Broken Heart, you find that it's been seemingly split in two. And one half appears to be some kind of bar, and the other half seems to be business as usual, with Vale herself just finishing a sermon. Melissa and Florian question Vale as she ends her sermon and she suggests that you all move to the comfortable seats in the bar area of what is now the Temple of Rest. There are people here that Melissa and Florian recognise as worshippers, but they don't seem to be acting quite right. Moving into the bar, everyone positions yourselves around Vale and Melissa, apart from Gus and Yorick, who head to the bar and order genuine dwarven ale from the barman on his recommendation. Meanwhile, the answers that Florian is getting are not to his liking, and he throws the drinks off the table and smacks Vale on the head with his staff. The fight is on. The fight continues. You notice that some of the worshippers do not attack at all, which is odd. And Yorick even gets an offer for some sexy times, but is stopped from doing so by the appearance of Hargrim. This also prevents Gus from calling Bridges into the fight. The fight is definitely not going well for some of you as you get hurt very badly. Melissa has not fought at all yet, but has noticed strange tendrils coming from the floor in the middle corridor. Snow advises Melissa to get involved pointedly, and she eventually does so, firing at Vale. As you kill one of the worshippers, you see that several others also vanish, and this continues as you kill Vale and Hargrim. All of the worshippers are now gone, leaving you alone in the temple, wounded, confused, and that is where we pick it up. So, what would you like to do? Cat on stream.
Would someone like to tell me what the bloody hell's going on here?
I have no idea.
I would quite like to know that myself.
People ain't who they say they are. That's basically the whole gist.
Really? You got that?
I saw when I was trying to figure out what was going on. There's tendrils of magic going down to a crack in the stone. Do I know a basement to the temple?
Yes, the temple did have a basement. It was completely unused as far as you were aware, and in danger of collapse, or so you were told. You've never been down there, but it was the entrance was filled in a long time ago.
Right.
There's an old basement. Where the hell did that accent go?
I knew.
There's an old basement downstairs, like.
There was a basement that we never used.
Right. Come on. Those of you that are still hale and hearty, let's go. Those of you who are a little bit more injured, perhaps wait behind for a minute or two.
And I'll first of all I'll point out where the crack in the stone is
Okay.
in the hallway, and then I'm going to go to where the entrance to the basement that I knew that was filled in was. Where that.
Okay.
Before he does that, can Florian would like to go up to where Vale died, or what was Vale, and if it's there, pick up my purse.
Yeah, sure. You can do that.
Cool.
I'm going to be just turning the axe around in my hands. Assume it's still purpley.
Yeah, it's lovely. The power.
So not quite paying attention. I'll probably just go, what?
Yorick, you got any of that Healy stuff left in your bag?
Yeah, I can do some. I'm not feeling great myself, so if anyone needs a hand, and I'm gonna cure wounds myself.
I definitely wouldn't say no, Yarrick. I'm looking a little bit bad here.
Okay.
I'm going to put down, Celeste will put down a healing spirit so I can do 1 + 1 spellcast, 5 small heals with that.
Okay.
Okay, well, I was going to do me, Gus, and Florian with first level cure wounds.
Becky, roll those.
Florian, you get, not bad, 11.
Thank you.
Gus, you get also 11, and I'm going to get shit, aren't I? I rolled 3 7s in a row, so I get 11.
Good job.
Good work.
Okay, so who needs a little bit of healing?
I'm still below half.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, after 11, I'm nearly up to maximum, but not quite.
I'm exactly the same with Yorick.
I would only accept healing if there's no one else to give it to.
Well, let's
I
see.
think
Hang on.
probably the only person that doesn't need any healing is Snow.
How much did you got? 11. Everybody got 11, did they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Right.
While this healing circle is ongoing, from my position behind the bar, I want to start going through all the bottles of liquor.
Okay.
And doing the classic, pulling out the cork with my teeth and spitting it as far as I can. And the ones that smell good, I'm going to, take a glug of, and the ones that smell like they could strip paint from the fumes alone, I'm going to start collecting along the top of the bar.
Okay. Roll me a d20, please.
Okay, so 3 for Gus.
1.
You find 1 tasty one.
5 for Yorick.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been the other way around.
Yeah, 1 bottle with the dregs of it, and me absolutely langered.
5 for Chalador. And only 1 for Melissa, I'm afraid.
Only 1.
Yeah.
I have a look. Is there sort of anything that would
Let's
constitute
finish
a till?
the egg first. So you've got one tasty bottle that you have a rather nice sweet from, and 19 other bottles that smell vile. It's those top of the shelf sticky things, You take them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh. So yeah, you've got 19 bottles of them.
Okay. So I'm going to go with the system of trying to fill up 1 or 2 bottles full of this horrid stuff.
Okay.
While also taking a swig of the good stuff every now and again because, chef has to treat themselves. Before recorking them and just having them to hand to bring downstairs.
Fair enough. Okay. So, Snow, you were doing something.
Yeah, is there anything that sort of constitutes like a till or a strongbox or something behind here?
Make a quick perception or investigation or perception, up to you. Whichever one.
I will go with investigation because reasons. Not bad. 18.
18. Yeah. Rummaging around, you find it. It's a little simple tray with a lid. Pull it out. There is let's have a look. See. There is 10 gold and 67 silver and 91 copper. Obviously haven't been to the bank in a while.
I think Miet's got a great idea, so I'm going to go to the barrel that had the dwarven ale in and get a couple more tankards of ale and give one to Yorick. So this will make you feel better.
Mhm.
Seeing you spilt your last one.
I know. Thank you.
Okay. So, Melissa, you recall that the entrance to the cellar would be roughly where you saw that small, where the tendrils were going in to that gap. It wasn't a particularly great job, but as the chair was over the top of that most of the time.
I'll take a step back and just launch an Eldritch Blast at the crack to kind of break it open more.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Oh, by the way, you did know that dwarven ale has healing properties, didn't you?
No, I did not know that, because it's A, untrue, and B, fuck off.
16 to hit.
16, yep, that definitely hits. Roll some damage for me.
A nice try though.
Yeah, perfectly good try.
6 points of force damage.
6 points of force damage. You turn as Melissa throws an Eldritch Blast at this. Energy just smacks into the floor, and there's bits of rock fly everywhere, bits of rubble. It wasn't a great job filling in this entrance, and you can see slightly damaged the first couple of steps, but they do go down into darkness.
Why is she shooting at the floor now? I'm a bit confused. I'm even more confused.
Well, if you're still in the bar, you won't be able to see that.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, there's a sort of double walkway.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all are within your right minds to leave and go where you want, but those of you that are willing to, I appreciate your help investigating this. Seems
Florian,
something nasty has rooted itself in my temple.
Well, we got a monster to kill, because we're monster hunters, you know.
I think we just killed it.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's all right. Let's go and get the loot then.
Florian will walk up to Melissa, grab her hand. I think you just earned my trust back for however the hell you figured that out and helping us there. But if it comes to Vale being anything than what you think she is, I will do the same.
She made me a promise. But we'll find out. And Gus, there ain't gonna be no treasure unless you count saving people's lives as treasure. Hopefully.
Well, it's a certain type of treasure, don't you think? Eh?
Still believe it's quite precious.
The hood goes up, the daggers come back out, and Snow just starts walking down.
I'm heading down as well. My bow is still out and quite fiery.
Who's in the lead here? You. Okay.
No,
and you have dark vision? Okay. So, stepping down into this dark, dank pit, there's this weird smell of sulphur. But at the same time, this place is damp. You can feel it rising up from the ground, this sort of cold dampness. And yet there's still a smell of sulphur. It's very strange. And as you follow the steps down, it sort of opens up into a sort of earthen floored space. And there are bits of rubble and what look to be rotten wooden posts that appear to be holding the floor up, or not in some cases, that they've just broken off at the bottom. This looks like a very unsafe place. Make a quick perception roll for me.
Be real careful. We don't tend to use this basement too often.
18. Okay. So, as you look around, you can see into the far corner. It's about, I mean, it's as big as the temple, if not bigger. So it's a very large space down here. But it's only about 10 feet high. So it feels claustrophobic.
Enclosed.
Yeah, very enclosed, very claustrophobic. It's dark, it's damp, it smells of sulphur. And as you walk forward, you can see off to the left and the right, because this staircase is in the middle of this area. There are what look to be slime trails going off to both sides, but out of sight into the darkness.
So now we'll just hold his hand up.
What you seeing?
Do you know if there's anything that excretes slime down here?
Do I know of anything that would be down here, or any creatures that would?
You've never been down here, but you were told it was sealed up because it was unsafe. Nobody's ever told you about any creatures or anything down here.
All I knew about this basement was it's sealed up because introductory sound.
I would recommend that you go back up and you tell everybody to be ready for a fight. I don't trust it. I can still smell sulfur. It's damp, but it's weird. I don't trust it.
The smell is awful similar to what I smelled when those imps came up.
I'm gonna do what I do best and I'll wait for you guys to come back, but don't be too long.
You keep yourself hidden. No, step back up and just kind of say, y'all, we found some more evidence of something oozy down in the basement. Be ready, but if you do all come down, be real careful. I don't know if the roof will hold up.
Snow would move off onto the earthen floor and sort of just melt into the shadow as much as possible.
Be a stealth check, please.
Come on then, you're right. Gotta go
You
kill
dice.
some monsters.
Can you? Sorry, Ash, go on.
No, go on, do what you're gonna do. Oh, no,
Can you give us 10 here, Melissa? I just want to have a search around the top in the dorms and there, just to see if there's any information.
Fair enough. I'll stay by the stairs, make sure Snow's safe. He's staying down there. Keep an eye on your
What'd you get, Snow?
26 on stuff.
26. Good to know. Thank you.
So after that, I will go around looking for at any of the bodies what are in the bar area,
There are no
which is
bodies
still there.
in the bar area.
There's nothing there. Okay, so I'll look around the bar area, and I would especially go into the like the dormitories in the
Okay.
other side to look for
Sure.
sorry, any boxes, papers, notes, anything to give us any information of what the hell is going on.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check for the bar.
I like your dice so far, Nat.
Yeah, that's what I just rolled.
19.
19. Nice. You search about in the bar. You find an empty tray that obviously is for money. You see Miette is making what appear to be weird cocktails and also swigging every now and again. The two dwarves are having a beer and a bit of a chat, but yeah, you find no real papers as to what's going on. There's no real clues or anything. It appears to be a bar. There are books in the bookshelves, but these are just your bog standard everyday books. They're not.
Tusk Club and such.
It looks like a bar. So
While we're having a beer, I'm just going to say to Gus, you know how every time we go and look for treasure and we find trouble, we get the blame for it?
Yeah.
We weren't the first ones down this one, but I bet no one gets the blame.
Oh, you bet you're right.
After the bar, I will go into the like the sermon room,
Okay.
where I know there are other
Yep.
the other rooms, and go back through there, and again look through that for similar
Okay,
things.
give me an investigation check.
While this is
Ooh.
going on,
Yeah,
can I
yeah.
start ritually casting detect magic?
Of course.
That's a bit dirty, but natural 20 for 22.
22. Okay. In the sort of main area where you saw Vale doing her sermon and her chair, again, there doesn't seem to be any sort of paperwork here. It's odd. You remember there being information shelves with books and histories and all these sorts of things, but they're all gone. They're not here. The shelves are here, but they're empty. Because you rolled so high, whilst you're looking at Vale's chair, you can see that same heart-shaped gem in the middle of the back.
From the first temple.
Yeah.
Does the chair look the same
It looks
from the first
identical.
temple? Okay, so I'll go back to where Melissa's at the top of the stairs, the walkway. And I'm not saying this quietly, so everyone else can hear it if whoever's around. But you remember the first temple with the chair, and I'll kind of do that.
Yeah.
Vale's here is exactly the same, and it has the same indentation to put a gem in it.
It
too.
already has a gem in
It already has a gem in
Yeah.
it.
it. It has
Oh, sorry, I
a
thought you
red
said it had the
heart-shaped
whole.
gem.
It already has a red heart-shaped gem in it as well. I don't.
Let's make sure Snow's not alone. Everyone, come on. I ain't never been this flustered before. And
Just go on.
I'm gonna start making my way down the stairs.
And I'll be
Both
like,
hands on bow.
just be ready, people. We know I've said it before, but this is either going to go one or two ways, and I think the latter is going to be the worst.
Negative,
So-
negative.
While I
With the
do
call
my...
to combat.
Go on.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go carry on.
I was saying, with the call to combat, the two dodgy cocktails that I've made, I'm taking the corks out and I'm stuffing in a couple of rags and lighting one of them and setting the two of them beside the stairs. And then I'm going to go back into the bar, get a cup of water and throw it at the gem on Vale's throne, because
Okay.
that's what worked last time. And I just want to try that before I go downstairs and leave that behind me.
So you
Okay.
made 2 Molotov cocktails, is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
I made Molotov cocktails.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
I was
Like
hoping
it.
that's what you're doing.
To bring down and ignite in a structurally unsound basement. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely. Give me. Give me a dexterity check, please. Oh, and remember, you need to take a d4 off that. That didn't
Six.
go well. 6.
Yeah.
Get this cup of water in. Whoa! And it just sort of splatters up the side of the chair. Nothing appears to happen.
I'm going to keep repeating this with increasing levels of cursing until I actually manage to hit the gem.
Okay, I'll say that you
Or someone
get
else does it for me.
another few in, and eventually some water goes across the gem. You've got a wet gem.
Grand, so knowing that, I'll go back and collect my cocktails and head downstairs.
Okay. Is anybody else doing this? Anything? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, we'll go downstairs, won't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd head downstairs too.
Has anything stirred or moved while I've been watching?
Make a perception check for me. And about now, your detect magic spell. So we'll get to you in just a second.
22 on perception.
22. Sitting or standing silently in the shadows. Close your eyes and you listen. You can hear the rest of them upstairs. And every now and again, as somebody stamps a little bit too hard, you can feel the dust. But beyond that, you can hear something breathing off to the left somewhere.
You know what? If this basement's so structurally unsound, why don't we just take out some of the supports and drop the whole building on what's ever down there? That'll take care of it, won't it?
Because there might be people down there.
Good people.
Good point.
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
So, detect magic first.
Well, what we could do maybe then is tie some ropes to some supports and leave them outside the stairs. And then if we get chased out, we want to drop everything as we leave. We just pull them as we go out and drop the floor on what's ever behind us.
We'll see about that.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
I mean, structural engineering. So, Celeste, your detect magic.
Once it's activated, I will, as quietly as I can, maneuver myself down the stairs.
Okay, so you're going down behind Melissa and Florian, yeah?
Yeah, I assume
Because
if
they're on the way down there, as I'm assuming Trelador is, yeah?
Yep. We're bringing up the rear, I think.
Okay, and Yorick and Gus.
As I'm heading down, I'm looking for that wispy connection that I saw before to see if I can
Make a
still see
perception
that.
check. Celeste, you're not getting anything magical here. Just your companions. There doesn't seem to be anything emitting any kind of magical aura. So
18.
18. So as you descend again, you start to look around for these connections. You don't see any at all.
We need light down here. Don't like not being able to see.
After hearing that, I light a torch. Instinct just kicks in, so
As you all
torch is
get
red.
to the bottom of the stairs, your torchlight lights up sort of. It's like damp earth, but you can tell that some of these structural supports have just rotted away completely from the bottom up. Some of them are still attached to the ceiling above, but only sort of don't actually attach to the floor anymore. So it looks really unsafe. There are piles of rubble that were supposed to be support bases to hold the structure of the building above you on.
Does any of this look like the whatever you want to call it, cabin walkway we ran through to get to Da?
No. This looks like a cold, damp cellar. You can see off to the left and right there are sort of shiny trails of some sort of slime ooze.
Can't pick up anything magical. Not yet, anyway.
As I hear them coming back down the stairs, what I'll do is I'll move off to the left
Okay.
so I can stay out of the light.
Okay, cool. So you're going stealthily again, yeah?
Yeah, towards the
Towards where
well,
you've heard the breathing.
yes.
Okay. So you head off. Make me a stealth check, please.
Same as last time.
Okay, cool.
26.
So you just stealth off. So what are the rest of you doing? Because obviously you haven't seen snow.
Peering around the cellar, looking at those trails of ooze, looking for any trace of people down here.
Could I sort of drag my dagger along just slightly in the floor?
That would of course negate your stealth roll.
Okay.
If you
Never
want to
mind
do
then.
that, you can.
No, it's fine. I will not do that.
Ooh,
Ideally, what
Can I hear or see anything?
Make a perception check.
Exactly what I was going to ask. So
You can as well.
19.
19. You look around. You can see this sort of slime going off to the right, off to the left. And it sort of disappears into the darkness further on. You don't hear anything more than that. Seems to be it.
mine wasn't as good, so I definitely didn't know half of that.
I'm very quietly going to call on Bridris.
Okay. So Bridris appears at your side.
Hello, buddy.
And you hear in your head, "What's up?"
We might have a bit of a fight on, so just be careful. But also, you're very good at smashing things with your tail and stuff, aren't you? If we need to, we might smash some of these wooden things and get out of here before it drops on our head. But don't do it now.
Make a animal handling check.
Oh, God, blimey, with a -8, with a -D8.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ, James.
TPK, courtesy Bidra.
0.
0. Wow. Okay. Roll me a d4.
Okay.
Because
2.
2. Okay. Bridris turns to look at you and slams her tail into one of the supporting posts. Luckily, it's not one of the ones that's attached both ends. It's only attached to the top end, and it smashes off, crashing to the floor, and a sort of shower of dust and little bits of rocks and stuff.
I whip around, arrow pointed at Bridris.
She's
I
just like,
said not right now.
"Oh,
Do that later. If we
we said
need.
now."
Yes,
It's all right. It's all right. She just got the wrong message.
I remind you, there may well be people down here that need our help.
Yeah. That's first. If we need to escape, then she can smack
I
them
would also
down.
appreciate it if you weren't trying to demolish my temple.
Well, so it's not really your temple anymore, is it? It's been taken over by monsters.
Pretty much broken already.
Yeah. This is going to come down any day now.
I'm going to head off. Which direction am I going to head off? To the right.
To the right. Okay. Anybody going? As Celeste peels off to the right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'll follow her.
take out a torch, light it off of Florian's, and say, let's spread out a little bit and look. This basement shouldn't be too big. I don't know where Snow went.
So, who's going left and who's going right?
Where we go,
Nice.
Gus?
I assume I heard the kerfuffle.
Oh yeah,
behind.
you can hear this lot being this lot, and you've also heard an mighty crash as Bridris' tail takes out one of the posts.
I'd already said that we were, as
Yep.
Celeste started moving, we were following her. So we'll do that.
So Yorick, are you going with Gus?
I will, yes.
Okay. Miette, where are you off to?
I'm gonna hover around the middle of the base of the stairs and just wait.
Okay. Florian?
If Melissa's gone right with her torch,
Yeah.
I will go left.
I was going to go left on my own and let you go right
Okay.
with the party.
Okay, then I will go the opposite way of what Melissa does then.
So, and Florian. Okay. Trillador. So
I'll
everybody's
stay
gone right, apart from Melissa, who's gone left, and Miette, who's just standing at the bottom of the stairs.
I'll follow Melissa, but I'll keep a comfortable distance behind her. Is the axe still glowing?
It is, yeah. It's lovely.
Can I use an action to use magic awareness on it,
Sure.
so I can know if it's a spell, and if so, what form of magic it?
So I believe I messaged you.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Oops. It's certainly magical.
Okay.
You have a magical axe. It's purple, and it fills you with power.
Is it enough to give me some light?
Weirdly, no.
Okay.
Also, nobody else can see this glowing. Only you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll follow Melissa.
Okay.
I don't think we should be going alone.
Okay. So, Celeste, as you head off to the right with Gus, Yorick, Florian, and Ridris, obviously, make another perception check for me.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So, are you going quickly or slowly? What sort of stealthily or?
I'm not.
I mean, bearing in mind that whatever's down here, if there is anything down here, will have heard.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless trying to be stealthy. I just sort of move a walking pace, a regular walking pace.
So, as you head away from the stairs, you're following this trail of slime. You can see it sort of goes in almost a zigzag type of path. And coming up to a wall, you can see some shapes, bundles of cloth perhaps, about 60, 70 feet away. This basement is huge. You would estimate you probably not underneath the Temple of Broken Heart. You're probably next door by now, by quite a long way. So those are in the right-hand party. So that's what do you do?
I will slowly approach towards the bundles until I get to about 25-30 feet away, see if it sort of pings anything with my detect magic.
Still nothing for detect magic. The rest of you, as you following, so do you tell the rest of your party that those are there, or?
There seems to be something up ahead. I'm not quite sure what it is, so just some kind of bundles, perhaps.
I think you might. Oh, Melissa said there are going to be people down here, so we could go over and have a look and see if it's people.
It could be
All right, come.
a number of things.
We'll go over and have a look.
Okay. So as you get right up to it, you can indeed see they are definitely people.
Are they dead people or alive people?
Make a medicine check.
Medicine check.
I would be checking as well, if that's okay.
Which is an ability, so take your D8 off of that.
Ooh.
He's going to kill somebody, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, I got 15.
15, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, these are definitely dead people. They are not alive. There is the first person sort of unwrap, and they're all sticky and slimy as well. It's really unpleasant as you pull the blanket or whatever it is they're wrapped in off of this human, and you recognise him. This is the barman from upstairs.
That's weird. How do you get down like this?
And the guy that you were stood beside, he's there too. And there's that orc as well. And a half elf.
Is the dwarf there?
You do not see a dwarf. You see
The tiefling.
a tiefling, a half elf, 2 humans, an orc, and whatever else that is. It looks to be too far gone to identify with a medicine check of 15.
What have you found here, Gus?
Lots of dead bodies. All them people we were finding upstairs, is their bodies are all down here and they're covered in slimy, gooey shit.
I don't know what we fought then, but my assumption would be that they were kind of like copies of these people.
Yeah.
Is the tiefling Vale?
It doesn't look like Vale. It looks like one of the ones you were fighting upstairs.
I don't recognise any of them in particular
You
from the
do
temple before.
recognise just about all of them, apart from the barman and the one that's not identifiable. But yeah, you know that the orc, for instance, was Burnus, the orc. There's Forbes, one of the humans. Tellini was the half-elf, and Whirl, the tiefling.
Do I know their stature of what they would have been at the temple?
I mean, they were assistants to Vale, most of them. Not as high-ranking as the Heartseeker, obviously, but fairly high-ranking. Burnus, the orc, was a kind of just a general dog's body. He would go here to thither and fetch things for Vale and anyone else that asked.
Can I see if I can work out what killed these people?
Sure, make a medicine check.
Can I assist her? I am
How are you
proficient.
going to do that?
Well, I'm going to guide myself as well.
Okay.
I would like inspect the wounds or whatever, the slime or anything with her, and just use what I know about medicine with that as well to help her. I was just hoping that because I'm proficient in it, I was just hoping that I could assist.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell
can
you
have-
what, if there's anything which I have picked up along the way as well about the temple, with me being out with Melissa and everything we've gone on from reading or anything like that, if that can be put into the check as well to see if it is.
It's a medicine check, so if you're going to help, rather than you two just doing two separate medicine checks, you need to tell me how you'll be assisting her.
Looking through everything she looks through again to point out if maybe it was this or maybe it wasn't this, and if not, I will roll my own separate check.
Okay, well, I'll say that you can do it with advantage, Celeste, or you can do 1 inch. Up to you, whatever you want to do.
What do you want to do, Fiddy?
I'm quite good at it, so if you want to do 1 each, it's fine. I haven't really put a substantial case against me assisting you, so I'm happy to do my own.
Fair enough. I rolled terribly 10.
10. Okay.
And mine was 23.
23. Okay. With a 10, you have no idea what killed these people. You know they're very definitely dead. Some of them have been dead a long time. Like, we're talking weeks. But they don't seem to have decomposed much, apart from one of them, which you suspect had been dead a lot longer. With your 23, was it?
Yeah, 23.
Yeah, most of these people were it looked like the effects of exhaustion, and you can see there are contusions where they've been struck, much like yourselves were struck upstairs in the fight. Looking at wounds, for example, on Gus and Yorick, you can see similar wounds on these people.
By weapons or magical means?
You would suggest some sort of tentacle, maybe? Something? Pseudopod? Punching? Weird.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
And
There's definitely physical wounds, not magical, but physical wounds.
I've got a thought. If there's nothing bad here, there's just dead bodies. But there's a trail over this side and a trail over the other side. maybe whatever put the dead bodies over here is over the other side, so we better go and help Melissa. Otherwise, she's going to get smashed around like this.
And
further
speaking
did-
of that, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, can I see how much further that this side goes, or is it still ongoing?
It's still going. It looks to be, some of the supports over here look to be more solid than the ones that were back.
For how far we've been, can I get a a rough guesstimate of where potentially in the temple we would be now?
Okay.
Rory said.
You're past the environs of the temple, as I said earlier. You're probably well into whatever building was next door.
Okay.
You would have gone underneath the bar area
Mhm.
and then further on.
Okay, cool.
So, go back to the left-hand side. Snow. As you are standing in the shadows, and obviously you can't hear shit now because of, your companions and their pets. You see approaching with a lit torch Melissa, and a little further back Trelador.
He would stand off to the side and then let them come level, and then slowly just put one hand on Melissa's wrist and sort of just move.
Okay, Melissa, you need to. I want to find out if you're frightened by this. So, give me what should we do? Because
I know shit check.
Yeah, I know shit check.
Wisdom save?
Do I need to change my pants check?
Yeah.
I would. Give me a survival check. And obviously you can take your D4 off it. That's gone well, hasn't it?
The
That's
smell
it.
of sulphur gets stronger.
-1.
-1.
Oh,
Oh my god.
0.
Okay. That is special. Okay, so you are walking along in this dark, dank, sulphurous smelling place. Everybody else has gone the other way. Only Trelador has come with you. You've no idea where Snow went. You've not heard or seen him. And as you're walking along out of the darkness, something gently, furry, touches you on the
I jump
wrist.
back and wave the torch in that direction.
And I would imagine
Panicking.
you probably scream as well.
Yeah.
So, Snow, this has not quite the effect that you intended, although it had quite the effect that Ash intended. And you see Melissa literally jumps back, screams, and launches the torch at you.
I'll draw
Can
the
I try
axe
and,
close
can I
distance.
try and catch the torch?
I'm swinging it as a
As a
bat.
Okay.
Okay, so make an attack roll. Obviously minus your D4.
Seeing as I assume this is just a improvised weapon, strength
Yeah.
roll.
Yeah. So you're probably not going to hit him. I mean, possibly. I mean, you
10.
could. 10. Yeah, that doesn't hit. But Snow, you're like, whoa! Trelador, you've literally just seen Melissa scream and swipe at something.
I'd close the distance. I'd run up.
Okay.
What?
Snow, don't do that.
Well, what am I supposed to do? I was, being quiet and stuff.
Say something.
You would probably still shit yourself and scream anyway, so let's face it.
Oh, I am glad to be home. I've got to change of clothes somewhere.
I had some breathing from down this way, so I was...
Lead us that way.
Get yourself together, Melissa.
I'm
Okay.
trying.
Hold
Presume
that
I would have
thought.
heard the scream.
Yep, hold that thought yet. the bulk of your party has disappeared off into the right. You could just... Actually, no, there are no torches on that side, are there? So, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Florian's
there's
got
torches on
torch.
both sides.
So you can just about see a distant torchlight on the right. Melissa and Tranador go off to the left, and then you hear a scream from the left, and Melissa swiping at something, and general shouting.
Yeah, I'm going to run that way, holding my
Molotov
cocktail
cocktails.
ready to throw.
Okay. So you run that way, and as you get closer, you can see that it's Tranador, Melissa, and Snow. The rest of you on the left hear a scream.
On the
I
right.
think we need to go that way.
Sorry, on the
Yeah,
right.
we'll just turn and go straight that way, I think.
Okay. So back to the people on the left.
Don't worry, Miette. It was just Melissa overreacting.
Sorry, I'm a little on edge. I don't know what to expect. You said you heard breathing, Snow.
Yes, and with the noise, I imagine they probably know that we're here.
Well, at least let's head that way. Make sure what it is.
And you can hear from behind you running footsteps. And turning around, you can see the torchlight as Florian and the rest of them come running up to you.
It's fine. It's fine. I just
Sorry, Al. Snow gave me a bit of a fright.
yeah. Celeste, have you got some spare underwear, perhaps, for Melissa?
Unfortunately not.
Oh, that's a shame.
It'll be alright. It'll be alright. Let's.
However, find the bodies of the people that we just saw upstairs.
Well, that's a
There's
start.
just an immediate sadness on Melissa's face.
I'm very sorry.
Snow,
Literally,
get us
some of
that
them have
breathing
been
quick.
dead for a while.
Snow, get us that breathing real quick.
So I am going to request that maybe we go a little bit quiet, because, lots of shouting, lots of screaming.
Just in case, but if someone's alive, I want to make sure that we can keep them that way.
Hey, okay, let's go.
So, as you turn and go to the left, are you going stealthily, or what are you doing?
Yeah, let's
I
go.
am, yes.
Okay, group stealth check, please. Obviously,
God.
those with D4s to take off, please take them.
Do you want me to do it at disadvantage because I'm holding a lit torch?
Yeah, you and Florian.
And I'm
29.
And the
No,
person
not
with the
20.
Molotov cocktail.
Oh, that's just
Yep.
absolutely dirty.
So, let's go around the room. Snow got a 29.
There was a
Tranador.
natural 20.
Nice.
16.
Tranador, 16. And you did take your D4 off of that, yeah?
Yeah, I got a 4.
Cool, cool. Melissa?
11.
11. Okay, and Miette?
9.
Celeste?
22.
22. Gus?
17
That's
Bridris?
with a minus D8.
with a minus D8.
And
Nice.
Bridris?
Bridris got 12.
12. Okay, Yorick?
7.
And Florian?
So I rolled a natural 20 with Nat's dice I got for Christmas,
Uh-huh.
and then I rolled a 3 on the other one, 6.
6. And you took off your D4, did you?
I don't have one,
Oh, you don't have a D4, sorry. That's cool. Do you want one?
not particularly.
Ah, okay. just thought I'd ask. So,
So the dragon is sneakier than the rogue.
Yep.
One of the rogues. Big pardon.
The rogue that's holding a flaming bottle of spirit, in fairness.
to be fair,
Bridris
she
is
did
more
have
from the
disadvantage.
Well, the patch of shadow formerly known as snow is not there anymore.
Okay, so you're heading off to where the breathing is coming from. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Same.
Well, you don't
Well,
know where
I
it's
was-
coming
Following Snow, and
from.
then
And he disappeared.
he disappeared. Snow?
Nail trail.
Yeah,
If
that might
he
be
went
best.
one side of the slime trail, I'd go to the other side of the slime trail. So
Follow
if the
the.
slime trail goes through the middle, he might have been on one side, and then I would go on the other side of it and follow
She's
its
going to
trail.
follow the slime trail, assuming that was where Snow was going.
Okay. So you follow it down. As you go, you can see Yorick and... No, just Yorick. Can you give me a perception check with advantage, please? Because you're looking at structure.
Cool. My perception with advantage. Mine is a D4. Oh, blimey. Both times I've rolled a 4 on the D4. But at advantage, 18 plus 6 for 24 minus for 20.
20, nice. 20 the complicated way, good.
Yeah.
So, as you're stealthing along in this weird place, the smell gets worse. You all notice the smell getting worse. Yorick, you in particular see that the structure is getting more and more decrepit. Pilings that should be solid bases for support poles are just crumbling with the damp. And looking up, you can see large cracks in the ceiling, starting to sort of zigzag all the way across, all different ways. You, in your opinion, you would suggest that it's probably not a good idea to be down here at all, ever. This place is going to go, and it's going to go very soon, in your opinion. Somebody so much as breathes upstairs on top of you, you're all going to die.
Right. Everyone, I hate to be the one to stop this little adventure, but this place is going to come down very quick.
If members of my temple are still trapped down here, I ain't leaving them.
And we're going to get trapped down here too, if we keep going.
You're all welcome to go back. I would not blame you.
Listen, you're going to get yourself killed.
Snow. You, creeping along, you get to another pile of what looks like rags and blankets. And looking at them, there are bodies here again. But one of them appears to be breathing.
Do I recognise this breathing body?
You certainly saw her briefly upstairs. It's a tiefling. There is also a dwarf that you definitely recognise as Hargrim, who is very dead. And another human, which is also dead.
He would move to Hargrim's body, and I assume that he would have his amulet, to his clan symbol.
It looks like the body's been stripped of anything valuable.
Okay. So the clan symbol wouldn't be particularly valuable, it'd just be simple metal, but has that been taken?
Roll me a d20. Let's see.
Just a straight d20.
Straight d20.
12.
12. You can't find it anywhere. It doesn't appear to be on the body. The rest of you, as you approach, you can see Snow.
His hood's back, and his head's down, and you can see his shoulders heaving.
Snow, what is it?
You don't get a response.
I'll hurry over to kind of look at what he's looking at.
He is looking at a very dead dwarf. Also there are Carl, a human you know from the temple, used to work at keeping the library books in order. Whenever anybody borrowed anything, he would come and get it to when it was overdue, get it from them, bring it back, put it back in the library. People always joke that, you know, you got to take your book back, Carl, and come and get it. He'll just take it. And he has been known to, you know, just walk up to people and just take a book out of their hands when it's overdue. The other body you recognise as Sifrai, a tiefling, youngish female. She hadn't been with the temple that long, but was already showing great promise as a person that would unconditionally give aid and succour to anyone. And she does appear to be breathing very shallowly. She appears to be alive.
I'll set down the torch and say, Celeste, Yarick, if either of you are still here. And I'll kind of be checking on Sifra. I think she's still alive.
I will reach down and with my last spell slot, cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Well, I had one more than you.
Rolled 1 on my d8, but that's 5.
5. Okay, cool. So as you do this, you can see a little flush of life almost comes back to this tiefling's face, and she sort of flutters her eyelids and moans. Vale, is that you, honey? Vale.
Fortunately not, Melissa. You alright, Sifra?
Heartseeker.
I think
It's
we
all
need
right.
to get her upstairs.
You gotta tell Vale. You gotta tell her not to go. The temple needs her.
I'll look to Tralador and Yorick and say, could someone strong help me up with her? Get her upstairs out of this dangerous place.
Yeah.
And maybe Snow seems a bit distressed with the dwarf.
Yorick and Gus, you recognise Hargrim.
At this point, you'd see Snow on one knee with, like, pressed Hargrim's hands across his own chest, and you'd start hearing, the rest of them would start hearing a stream of what they would recognise as Dwarvish. The dwarves would recognise a variation on the oath that they saw on the stock of Snow's crossbow, but delivered with the kind of respect that's a little bit shocking.
So there is indeed a dead dwarf. Not of your clan, but you
That's
know.
not good. Who kills a dwarf?
And you know, Gus, you stay here. You help Snow.
All right.
Pay your respects to Hargrim. I'm gonna help get this girl back upstairs.
All right.
We all need to get out of here now.
Yeah, let's bring Sifra and the dwarf with us.
So
Get out of here.
So Yorick and Melissa are taking Sifra.
Yeah, we're taking her out upstairs.
Okay. And Gus and Snow are taking Hargrim, is that right? And the rest of you are just sort of lighting the way, making sure they don't walk into anything.
I will do, but before we leave,
Yeah.
I'll just have a look around from where the bodies were on this side. Have a look around on the floor, wall, ceiling to see if there's any more of those cracks, what were similar to the ones in the corridor upstairs.
Make an investigation check.
And before I go, can I just check to see if the slime trail ends here or if it continues on?
Certainly make an investigation check.
Only a 13 this time.
13. I mean, there are lots of cracks in the ceiling here, going all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
This is investigation or perception? Sorry.
Investigation.
14.
14. looking around, you can see that this was obviously where the water. This appears to be covered in slime. This place. There is a slime trail that goes a little bit further on as well.
Okay, I'll just make a note of that and then follow the rest out.
Okay. So, getting back up the stairs into the. You go to the bar area, or you go to the.
Oh,
temple?
definitely the bar area.
Okay.
We have to pay our proper respects.
Yep, sounds good.
Take her up to the bar area, and I'll be getting rations and water out for her to make sure she's okay.
And she. Let's see quick. Yeah, she comes around again. She's and she coughs up a large piece of blood as it dribbles down her chin.
Aaron, in here. Drink.
Hunsinger, no, you've got to get Vale. She said to the temple was in danger, and then there were these things come out of the floor, and they came for us, and I don't remember what happened. I got weaker, and I couldn't wake anybody up, and then Vale got hit too, and she got really weak. But then she said she was taking dunks, big dunks. You remember big dunks? She was taking him, and they were going south to the dead
South?
forest.
Dead forest?
Yeah, you know
Do
the
I know
area
where that
down-
is?
You do, yeah. Right far to the south, at the end of this peninsula, and Florian, you would know about this as well, is a forest that nobody goes to. It's called the Dead Forest.
Why?
She said
Did
if
she
she
say
could fix the temple. She said if she got it, and I don't know what it was. She said she found the answer was there, and that's where she was going.
Does this line up with anything that Vale has spoken to me about before?
Make a history check.
How true does he seem?
Make an insight check.
Yo, classic.
Obviously,
Make a fiddy check.
with your D4, Jay.
Yeah. 21.
21. Okay. You recall that Vale saying that the Dead Forest was certainly a place of interest for her. She was curious as to why nobody would go there, and did quite a lot of research on it. She didn't ask you to go there. She didn't tell you what she was looking for, but you suspect there was something held in the Dead Forest that she could utilise to perhaps, in case of devil incursion, shall we say.
Nod and then just. It's alright, darling. You're safe now.
She takes a sip of water and it coughs some more, and it just falls back to sleep. Florian.
18.
18. I mean, she absolutely believes what she's telling you. You believe this actually happened. You know, the temple was attacked somehow, people were falling unconscious and she couldn't wake them up.
Yeah, okay, so another question for you as well, Chaz. So, how far, where is my hometown towards the south from Dar?
Your hometown, let me just grab the map here, and I will quickly share my screen.
Thank you.
So, currently you guys, you can see my mouse, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so currently you guys are in Dar. Florian, your hometown is roughly about here.
Okay.
So it's not as far south as the Dead Forest down here, but it is fairly far south.
Yep. So
towards the coast.
with that, then, do I have any extra information, insider, as you will, knowledge about stories, anything about the Dead Forest being that much closer to it, rather than just.
Make a history check. And I'll say you can have it at advantage.
That was really poor.
And?
I rolled a natural 1 and a 2
Wow.
at advantage, so it's a 5.
5.
Mine is a D4. Oh, you don't have a D4.
I don't have it. I
I
don't
mean,
have it. So
You've heard of the Dead Forest, and you sure when you were a child that you heard some stories about it, but you can't recall them. They obviously didn't stick in your mind.
Jesus Christ. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Might I have heard
No,
anything
no,
as a
it's literally
storyteller?
just the luck of the dice, isn't it?
It's the dice. Sorry, Miet, you were
Asking if I might have heard anything about the woods as a storyteller.
make a history check again with advantage.
That's gonna be hard to see if you can beat a 1 and a 2.
Yeah.
But Miet does have to take a D4 off it.
Not sure you could get much worse than Philly.
I rolled a 7, but also a 19 for a total of 18.
18. Nice. So, yeah, you've definitely heard of the Dead Forest. It is rumoured that wights and ghouls and all sorts of interesting undead creatures inhabit this space. Tales tell of unwary travellers strolling into what seems like a beautiful autumnal forest, but it's always an autumnal forest, never winter, never summer, never spring. And they get trapped by fairy circles and fey creatures who then lead them deeper into the forest where the wights and the ghouls eat after the fey have extracted whatever it is the fey want. Normally, normal cautionary tales about the fey. Don't speak to them, don't deal with them, that sort of thing. But they often promise to lead travellers back out of the forest, but lead them further in. So yeah, you've definitely heard of it. You've definitely heard of stories of it. It's best avoided.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, I saw that as well. So, you have this information. This girl looks as to be dying. She does not look well at all.
I'm doing my best to help her, kind of.
Yeah.
Going for my previous medicine check downstairs. Does it look like she's exhausted as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You suspect that if she had to roll an ability check, she'd probably be taking a d20 off it. Which is followed by unconsciousness.
I'm going to just grab Celeste's shoulder and just pull her to the side for a few seconds. When we were looking at those bodies downstairs,
Yes.
they were basically, there's a few contusions on them, but looked like they were exhausted. This looks like exactly the same thing. I'm not entirely sure there's much we can do without a long rest or a big powerful spell, and I know you and Yark are tapped.
I think even if I was at full power, I wouldn't have what would be required to fix something like this.
Just, I don't think Melissa's going to take this too well, so just keep an eye on her.
Of course.
Yeah, even though she's unconscious, kind of out of it. Melissa's holding on to her, just...
What about
And-
you, Florian? You knew these people too.
I did, but most of my training was to keep it together as much as I could for everybody else. So at the moment, I'm fine. But if there's ever a time, thank you.
So,
I think we need to keep.
Sorry.
I think we need to keep an eye on Snow as well.
Speaking
Seems
of,
taking it hard.
we will shift to the bar area where Gus and Snow have laid out Hargrim.
Right, Snow, we need to put him on the bar. He's a dwarf. And I'll go and get some more tankards of dwarven ale. It has to be the dwarven ale.
Yep.
And I'll put one on his chest and I'll fix his hands to it like that.
Okay.
Come on, Yorick, you need to say your prayers to Riox for him,
Yep.
and we'll all toast him. And I'll give everyone who's with us a flagon of ale.
So yeah, I'll go up and I'll do some sort of. I probably have never performed this ceremony myself, but I've certainly been there when.
I mean, you've
Unary
definitely
rights.
been involved.
Yeah.
Because obviously being monster hunters,
Yes.
you were the cleric attached to a unit, so you would have been definitely involved in these kind of ceremonies. But normally this would be, if there was a death in the field, you would take your fallen comrade back and do
Exactly.
the funeral rites there with the higher priests officiating.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
you don't have that option today. So.
No. So I'll do my best to sort of remember the ceremony and
Sure.
and
What I
perform
would
it.
also like you to do is roll me a D100, as you're essentially making a prayer to Riox.
Okay. Yeah. 48.
Sure not going to believe what I rolled. 47. So, as you're officiating, tankard in hand, as appropriate, you start speaking about Hargrim, about how noble he was, how good a dwarf he was, how he never let his clan down, he honoured his family and friends. Suddenly there's a little voice in your head said, well, now that's not strictly true now, is it? So, this boy, he was an okay dwarf. He wasn't a perfect dwarf, but then none of you are perfect, are you? But what I will say is Hargrim was a fine dwarf, and he had the way of it. You need to be outside your little mountain enclosure. I'm happy that you boys are out in the world. You need to stop fighting the dragons. Now, carry on with your little ceremony. Don't worry, Hargrim's already here. And I'll tell you this, spread the good word and the beer, obviously. Now, carry on. And that's what you get. Gus, you see Yorick's face just go completely blank for 30 seconds? 40 seconds? And I'll leave it up to Yorick what he wants to tell me.
You're meant to be saying your prayers, not going to sleep, you silly bugger.
Nothing, and then suddenly there's just a. Hey, Gus! Hey,
What?
Gus!
What?
He spoke to me!
Who?
Yorks!
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's brilliant. What do you say?
Well, you're gonna like it.
Oh, that's good. What did he say? Come on. Don't keep me in suspenders.
Well, he Argrim's already there. He's got a funny accent. He's got a bit of a. I can't do it. I can't even do it. He did say that we need to stop fighting the dragons.
I told you! I knew I got it from somewhere. It must have come from him.
Well, now the big man said, I will try and treat Bridges a bit better.
That's nice.
Make sure you write that down, Yorick, so you forget.
I was about to say the perfect opportunity to say write that down, Yorick, and you didn't say it.
I'm so excited.
Bridges actually licks the back of your leg, Yorick.
Has the
I will sort of just look at him out the corner of my eye and then slowly sort of go down to give him a pat.
Oh, you don't have to go very far. He's like almost as tall as you now.
As Yorick finishes doing what he's doing, then they're having this conversation. You'll hear it start quietly, but then both Gus and Yorick will recognise a very well-known dwarven drinking song that would be known to sort of the monster hunters and the rangers. And snow will start to get louder.
Of course, we'll join in.
Obviously. So, the rest of you hear this boisterous singing in Dwarvish. You have no idea what is going on. The dead dwarf appears to have a tankard on its chest. And the three of them are drinking and singing.
I'll toast to the body and attempt to drink some of the ale.
Fair enough. Trevor, what are you up to?
I'm just propped up with my back to the wall, taking it all in.
Okay.
Not really sure about what the next move is.
Where is your axe currently?
Probably strapped in my back.
Okay. So at the moment you have sort of a purple. You can just see out the corner of your eyes, purple surrounding your head. Feels
And no one else
great.
can see it.
No one else can see it, just you.
I probably have a bit of a grin on my face, which is not usual for him.
Oh yeah, it feels great.
I have sent message DM with for stuff I'm doing, such.
Gussie also said that he's pleased that we're out and about.
Oh, now that's good. I'm glad to hear that because you were really worried about that, weren't you?
No, I was, yeah.
Does that mean we've got to go back home and tell everybody that they can't kill dragons anymore and that they've got to be friends with them?
He told me to spread the word, so yeah, kinda.
Wow. That's not going to go down too well, is it? Mind you, never know. There might be more people like us who just haven't said anything.
And Big Man might be telling other people.
And there's Hargrim as well. He was the same, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right, okay. We need to get as much information as we can and take it back so we can spread the word when we get back.
I'm writing it all down.
And on that note, we'll have a little break. Grab a drink, because I think we deserve a drink for Hargrim and all the others that lost their lives.
For Hargrim.
For Hargrim. Okay, so we'll be right back. And welcome back. So, as we left, Hargrim's funeral rites are being noisily partaken of at one end of the bar. At the other end, young Sifrai is looking worse and worse. You suspect she may not last the night.
Yeah, I'm sitting there holding her until I feel that. I hold her until I feel her heart stop.
Yeah. It honestly doesn't take very long. It's about 40 minutes or so. And she just goes limp in your arms.
Florian will take a nod to Hargrim and to Sifrim, did he say?
Sifra.
Sifrai? And question here now for Miette. Did you mention that you're taking the gem out of the chair or not?
No, I had just splashed it to see if anything would happen, and nothing did, so I left it be.
Okay, so Florian will do that and then walk back round to the chair because I didn't think Miette did, so in my mind Florian would want to try and compare the two gems from the first temple to what is in this chair now to see if they look different or made out of different things.
It'd be a bit tricky. You don't have the gem from the first temple.
No, just from memory, from looking at it and being so
Okay.
close to it because we went to the chair.
So, what are you taking the gem out of the chair, or are you examining it in the chair, or what's the plan?
I thought Miette took it out of the chair because she chucked water on it.
She just
Oh,
threw
okay.
water at it.
No, I won't touch it. I will just basically be looking at it and
Okay.
from memory going from the indentation from the first temple to what it is there now and to see if it's the same substance, the same gemstone or anything like
Well,
that, and
just
trying
by
to.
looking at it, you're not going to be able to tell if it's the same substance. You'd have to sort of start poking it with your fingers, or handling it. I mean, just looking at it, it looks exactly the same. It's the same colour, it's the same shape, it's in exactly the same position as the other chair.
And the chair is exactly the same colour,
Yep.
shape.
Identical. You're going to touch it. Go on, touch it. Touch it, you know you want to.
Go on, get a matching set of hands.
Touch it. Touch the chair.
I actually think that Florian would get his water skin out, knowing that he's gone through all of these temples with defences and trying to piece it all together, put it over tip it over the gem and try and pull it out from the chair.
Okay, so you pour water directly onto the gem, which
Mhm.
gets it wet, wetter, and you're going to pry the gem out of the chair, yeah?
Pull it out if it just pulls out, and potentially, yes, pry it out if
So
needed.
you approach and take the gem out of the chair. The gem was glowing slightly. It glows a lot brighter when it's in your hand, much like the one did in the first temple.
Do I get again, fiddy question here? Do I get any feeling from that, as with it glowing brighter, as if it's filled me with warmth, or that it's filled me with like despair, pain, or anything like that?
Nope, it's just a glowy gem.
I'll walk round to the bar where everybody is with Hargrim and everyone else.
Okay.
And I'm ever so sorry, everyone, but there is respects to be paid, and I am more than willing to pay them for everyone here, but I just took the gem out of the chair that the fake veil was on, and it just came out lickety split. It was a lot easier to take. and it wasn't glowing. It wasn't glowing as strongly as it was since I held it, so I don't know if any of you magic users can potentially see what this is, or if it has a connection between me, my sister, and what the hell is going on.
Celeste, you can hear rumbling coming, and the floor slight tremor.
There's trembling from underneath us.
Oh, I think maybe we need to go.
Yorick, Gus, you suspect from the feel of it, especially you, Yorick, that the far end of the temple has started to collapse. It would be where the dorms are. So in the bar area, is safe-ish at the moment. But for how long? Who knows?
Right, finish your beers. Are you frozen, Yorick? You're just not moving. Oh, he's frozen.
Oh, it's frozen.
He's frozen. That's
This is the problem with having a blurred background. We can't
we
see
can't
the
tell.
fan to
The
know.
fan's not there. We don't know. He's just pensive.
Bjorks is talking to him again.
That is the new canon. Whenever somebody freezes, they're talking to Reorcs. Right, well, we'll wait for him to get back. Because now that Celeste has mentioned it, the rest of you can feel it.
Can someone help me? Because I'm trying to lift Sifra's body.
Oh, Sifra, you could probably lift. She's only a slender thing.
I know, quite weak, but yeah, I'll
Yeah,
make my
this
way
should
out
be-
of the temple with her.
So, right.
Talking to Yacht Reorcs, have you?
You finished talking to Reorcs, you're back.
Oh yeah, completely just died.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard?
That's a good question. Philly was saying something.
Well, no, who listens to him? Yeah, Finny basically, Florian went and took the gem out of the chair.
Yeah.
And was talking to you guys about it when Celeste noticed that the floor was shaking slightly. And you would have noticed that this is the building collapsing in on itself, because that's the floor giving way into that cellar. So it would be in the dorms part of the temple. So in the bar area you're safe for now. How long for? You couldn't say. Probably not long, as the rumbling noises get louder and louder, and you can hear the floor collapsing in on itself.
Right, I think it's time that we leave. This is collapsing.
Finish your beers, off we go.
Can I grab the keg of dwarven beer?
Sure. Give me a strength check.
We'll do it between the two of us.
Okay, give me a strength check each. One with a minus D4, one with a minus D8.
Ooh.
Wait, what's my strength?
19.
19, nice.
Nice.
What did you roll?
I rolled an 18 plus 2 minus 1.
Wow, nice.
Right.
And Yorick?
I'm on also 19.
Excellent. So yeah, you watch as the two doors just barrel on one shoulder each and race out of the door.
I mean, this is beer, so we were motivated.
Oh yeah. With Bridris following along behind you, looking very confused.
Are you not taking the body rather than the beer?
No, he can be buried in the rubble. That'll be a good pyre for him.
He'd want it this way.
Yeah. He'd prefer we took the beer. And Bridris, you better go, dear. We're going out now. We don't want you see you people come around. They'll be very upset if you're here.
Oh, fair enough.
Sorry, there wasn't a fight.
Cool.
But next time. Oh, all right.
I'm just going to stand there as everyone filters out and just watch, I assume, as the temple is collapsing.
Yeah, you can't see it at first from the outside. Once you all get outside, you can just see the end where the dorms were. You can see sort of puffs of rubber dust coming out of the doorway of the temple, and then you hear this enormous crash as you can see the wall folds in on itself, and the whole temple just shifts off to the left and down, and just like there's this enormous looks like basically an earthquake as the whole building just collapses in on itself and the dust and rubble goes flying everywhere. And it takes a good sort of 10 minutes, and eventually the rubble settles and there is nothing left. It is just rubble.
Well, I guess we're not sleeping there tonight then.
I will step forwards, and on a flatter section of rubble near the front, I will just lay Sifrai's body down. I'll then kind of lean over and move her hands to both be resting over where her heart is. I'll then stand back up, take a step back, and just say, "You are always full of joy. You had love for everything in the world around you. And though you are gone from this world, you will remain in the hearts of those you touched. The same goes for all of you. Sifra, Burnus, Forbes, Tellini, Worrell, Carl. You have all been stolen from this world, but your hearts were always full of love. And you will always live on in ours." And I'll just stand there, kind of, my hands clasped around my amulet, just tears streaking down, just looking at the ruined rubble of the temple.
Are you done?
I don't think any of us are ever going to be done, Trello. And at this time,
I
Florian's
don't mean
going
to
to be
be-
looking at the gem.
I don't mean to be that person, but this building has just collapsed and there's lots of dead bodies around. I don't think we should stay here.
From what we've seen in this city, I think we need to get out of it. It's safer to sleep in the wild with the fog than this place.
And indeed the temple has drawn quite a crowd to watch it fall.
I took a gem out of the chair, as you all know, and I'm trying to think this through here, but I'm assuming the gem was in that chair for quite a lot longer time than the ones we put in to the other temples. Is this like a reverse reaction? Me taking it out so that the temple is now gone?
And Snar will look at Florian very sardonically. Perhaps this is something you could have considered before you took it out of the chair, maybe?
I appreciate that. I really do, but this is just, for me, hitting far too close to home with my sister and the temple and everything.
Let's get out of here and we'll talk about this later. It's not.
I've realized a few things from what Sifra said before she passed. Let's get out of Dar.
Well, lead the way
There's no
then.
love left here. Yeah, do you know any camps nearby that we might be able to camp in? Preferably looking to head in a southerly direction from here.
I mean, you could probably find some. I mean, you haven't you personally been down this far, or this part of the world, but your people have travelled everywhere.
We can leave the city and I will find shelter somewhere for us.
Please do.
Now,
And I'll then turn around to face everyone and say, I'll explain all that I know when we get to that camp. Y'all are welcome to stride off and go in your own directions. And I linger looking at Trellador for a while. But I would appreciate if you do come along. And hopefully the people that died to whatever infested the temple
Well,
can
I'm
be
very interested in
remembered.
the Forest of Death.
Now I think we're all in this together at this point, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure where I would go, to be honest. It's not like I have a home here.
There's a small hint of a smile on Melissa's face. Let's go. And I'll start walking and leading us through the city to
well,
the southern exit, the safest way. I
And
imagine.
Celeste,
probably easier to go east, because you're on the eastern edge of the city. So you could go east out of the city and then head south.
Yeah.
With Florian,
Find
you
the
would know
safest way out.
the countryside out here pretty well.
Yeah. As soon as we get out of the city limits, I'd start making my way as far down south as I knew that I knew I could go.
Okay. Celeste, just before you leave the city, a young boy, about 8, 9 years old, comes up with a parcel. Say, "Is you Celeste?" Well,
Yeah.
you look like her. I was told you look like this, but I was just got to make sure.
I am.
I've got a parcel for you. That'll be a silver.
Yes, of course. And I will hand
No,
it over.
we'll saunter across and just put the silver in his hand.
Cheers, Gav. Puts the box in your hand, Celeste, and then scampers away.
And Snarl just turn on his heel without a word and just bolt for the front of the group. He's very visibly tightly wound, hood's back up, and he's got a dagger in each hand, visible to everybody that looks at him.
Yeah, people are giving you a lot of wide berth. Since the temple collapsed, nobody has attempted to interact with you until this child near the gate.
This is concerning.
oh, it's nice to get.
Might I suggest that you don't open that?
I
By all
was
means,
not
witness
going to. Yeah.
who does, but
It might be a birthday present, though.
Nobody knows where I am, as far as I'm aware. Least of all anybody that would know my name.
Ooh, it's a mystery.
I've had enough mysteries lately. I don't.
Well, if you open it, it won't be a mystery anymore.
We could just set fire to it.
You do that?
I'm not doing anything with it here.
All
I've
right.
got a load of it.
So, you make your way into the evening, out of the city, heading east first, then south, following not really a road, more of a pathway in this gentle, almost farmlands countryside. It's you pass orchards and livestock. There's very few people. People don't tend to interact with travellers around here, especially close to Dar. They're so used. Are you all right, Vinny?
He's on the phone.
Oh, is he? Sorry, I didn't know. Especially this close to dark, people tend to sort of like ignore any and all people coming out of the city because they're just so fed up trying to be converted to this religion or that religion or the other religion. So, as you walk past Miette, can I have a survival check, please?
More real things I'm famously good at.
Yay!
That's 0.
0. Yeah. You're walking out, you can't see any traces of what you would normally see. There are 0 signs here that any wandering gust has ever been here. So you have no clue which way to go, or even if there are camps this way.
Plan B it is then, so.
Looks that way.
Find somewhere that looks relatively comfortable for shelter and start inscribing my claws out.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
would I not know of any areas along the way? Not necessarily, obviously, definitely not wandering gusts, but of encampments or
you
sites.
know the countryside pretty well. There are a couple of sort of campsites type things between here and your hometown that you would get. You could probably lead them to one pretty swiftly, about an hour or so away. You think?
I would do that if it's apparent that Mia is.
Oh, it's very apparent. Yeah, it's kind of looking. She's absolutely nonplussed. There's none of the usual things are here. It's all weird.
I got a place that we can go to, guys. So just follow me. It's about an hour or so, and we can camp up. It's probably not as protected as Miette's, but it's at least some shelter.
Yeah. So you walk on for another hour. Place is starting to get a few gentle hills. And Florian, you know of a place built into the side of one of the hills that's not, while it's not exactly a cave, there's an overhang where you've stayed before, you've had a fire there, and it's usually pretty sheltered out of the weather. So you get there, there's nobody in this camp. What would you like to do?
I'm going to sit on the outskirts of the camp and start casting Detect Magic again, because I'm very concerned about this castle.
Okay. So, while that, I'm assuming you're ritual casting it again, yeah? Okay, so within that 10 minutes, anybody else want to do anything?
Yeah, we'll get a fire going, set up the cask of beer so we can have some more beer.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to
Go on.
inscribe the perimeter to give us some protection.
Okay, give me a... Because you haven't got the normal place where you would do it unthinkingly, you have to think about it. So give me a... What should we make this? Let's make it something fun. Give me a performance check.
$50.
Okay, yeah, you're pretty sure you can do this, and you find yourself sort of blanking out, thinking about it, and just do it as the natural, as if you were walking into a camp. You inscribe a couple round camp, one on the back of this overhang, just in case. Okay, Snow, you wanted to do something.
Yeah, I want to find a tree towards the back of the camp that gives good view coverage, and then climb up into it.
Okey-dokey. Yeah, quick. I'll say you don't really need an acrobatics check because it's a fairly easy tree to climb.
Okay.
Yeah, you're up in, sitting in the tree, looking out across. You can see quite a fair way as it gets darker. I don't know, there's the occasional homestead light far on the distance, but no big lights apart from the city behind you. So,
Can I go up to Gus?
sure.
Gus, you're not one to mince the words, and you tell it how it is.
Yarp.
Am I glowing?
How many beers have I had by this time?
Well, you had a couple back in the temple. You've had a good walk since then, though.
Yeah, so I
Probably-
sobered up.
Yeah, you're perfectly sober.
Alright, okay. Glowing. Usually when women are pregnant we say they're glowing, but you don't look pregnant.
I'm not pregnant.
Well, okay. I can't see you glowing. Well, why would you think you're glowing?
Doesn't matter. Sorry, forget I said that.
Alright, you want a beer? It's,
Um,
it's good beer, it's proper beer, not none of this human piss.
okay. Thank you.
And I'll give him an ale.
And I'll try and smile at him.
Try, I like the word try.
Oh, after having set up the camp, I'll probably set myself down with everyone. So, do you mind if I try a little bit of that ale you got?
Yeah, of course, here you go.
Okay.
I'll be almost as daintily as I can with the tankard, just sipping it.
Fair enough. Okay, so, meanwhile, Celeste, you finish your detect magic, and the normal suspects will light up Trelador's axe, all of your friends' new magical bits and pieces. Nothing from the box or package, right?
My gem, the new one.
Yep, that lights up.
Oh, I'm not looking at that at the moment because I'm concentrating on this package.
Well, the package does not appear to be magical. It has the word Celeste written on it in Elven.
Can I inspect the package, see if there's anything that looks
Sure.
a little off, or any clues of where it might have come from?
Make
Who might have sent it?
investigation or history roll, up to you.
Investigation 18.
18. You certainly recognise the handwriting. It's from Lork. This is Lork's handwriting.
Oh dear. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm at least 30 feet away from everybody.
Okay. So you walk out into the growing darkness,
Probably make it 50 feet.
even further out to the into the growing darkness.
And then open it.
Okay. So you peel away the paper wrapping, and there's a letter. Well, more of a note, really. It says, actually, I will message you to it. Okay, let me just message you that, because you're so far away from everybody. There you go, that's the note. And inside the box, well, you could probably guess what it is.
Can I determine who it belongs to?
You do indeed, it's your mother's.
Okay.
Well, that's. I'd like to call Snow down if he's up his tree.
He is up the tree.
Snow, come join us a minute.
Look down and then just drop down without a word.
And when he gets over to the fire, I'll give him a tankard and say, "Look, we know your friend is gone, and he was a dwarf, and he was a good dwarf, and you've been a friend to us. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Yorick, but I think we want to make you an honorary dwarf. You're going to have to work on your beard, but we'll let you off with that one for now.
I think that's a great idea.
Cheers."
Cheers.
Thank you.
And you're going to have to start drinking a bit more.
Or
That is something I got given a pass on before because, well, but, as long as it's the good stuff, eh? I am going to miss him.
I didn't know him that well. I knew him from back home, but he seemed like a good bloke.
I have known him a very long time. He's the one who taught me how to use a crossbow.
Right.
And taught me a few pointers about tracking and, dwarvish stuff. He's the reason I can speak dwarvish and read it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But at least we got to give him a good send-off, eh?
Oh, yes. And now he's got a great big monument to his name in Dar. Entire building as a cairn.
Yes, but we need to find out what killed him, and
Oh, we are going to do that. And we're going to delete it expeditiously. That was a big word.
We're a big word.
Not very long.
Yeah, no, this drink is mighty strong for beer, you know?
It's proper beer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say it's something that you're not used to. Maybe sip it a bit more, Melissa.
It's what I've been doing. Reminds me a lot of the whiskey I used to steal from my father.
It's not that strong.
If you're stuck out in the wilds, you could probably live on this without needing food, to be honest.
And you wouldn't really care anyway.
I've still got a bit of the mead left as well in my water skin if you fancy something a bit sweeter and stronger.
This should be more than enough.
Why
for
don't
me
you
for
go
this.
and have a little lie down, perhaps?
No, I've got... I steadied myself for a moment. We need to discuss things. Is everyone here?
Celeste went for a little walk. More secrets in a box, apparently.
Well, as we found out from past history, secrets in boxes are not good things, are they?
Here, y'all look after my drink. I'll be back in a moment, and I'm gonna wander over to where Celeste was
Okay.
and try and find her.
It is dark. Once you get outside the firelight, it's pretty difficult to see. Make a perception check. And I'll say, how much of that drink did you have? I'll say
Make a Constitution saving throw if you want me to.
Yeah, make a Constitution saving throw. Let's start there.
Start there.
Especially considering that Melissa is not known as a drinker.
No. Quite.
She's not as good at it as
So what'd you get?
16.
16. You're okay. You're a bit sort of, oh, that was much stronger than I'm used to, kind of and it's just sort
Yeah.
of, so a little bit of a head spin, but as you stand up and sort of walk out, the fresh air is just cooling it down just a little bit, although it is a bit. Wow. So make your perception check, obviously with your D4.
Mine's D4. Use this one because the pink one has betrayed me too many times.
Are you hiding at all, Celeste, or what are you up to?
No, I was just making sure that if
It didn't explode.
something went off, it wasn't going to affect anybody else. But she's probably just frozen.
Well, the D4 made it a straight roll, so 13.
13. Yeah, it's not too difficult to find Celeste. She's standing there, a box in one hand, a piece of paper in the other, and she's just staring into this box.
I'll kind of approach, but I won't get super close for the moment because I respect her privacy. I won't look at what's in the box or on the note at all. Celeste, darling, you alright?
I have to go.
Where?
I don't really know.
What's wrong?
I imagine if I go back to Dar, he can find me there.
He? This the one you were talking to me about?
I can't stay.
I'll take another step closer and I'll say in Elvish. From what you said, I don't want you going back on your own. What's wrong?
If I don't go, he's going to hurt the people I care about.
I'll quickly move over and just kind of take her in an embrace. What's he done already? Hey. Darling. I know how to deal with people like this, but I don't want you going off on your own, especially if you ran away from a reason, surely.
I won't let anybody else get hurt. And she's just going to start walking back in the direction that they came from.
Celeste, darling, stop. She doesn't stop walking, I just kind of plant my hand on her shoulder and try and stop her.
Are you going to contest this?
I'm just going to try and keep
Okay, so contested strength check.
Six. Oh, sorry, 5.
5.
7.
But it is bigger, so yeah, you
Match the Titans here.
you can't get away from Melissa. She won't let you move, and she moves round in front of you to stop you.
If this man is threatening ones you love, forget you come back. He ain't gonna treat you right.
I'm just going to push the box into her hand.
You look down.
At this point, I will now look down.
You look down into the box. There is a severed hand. A female elf hand. You nod.
I mutter something in Infernal.
It's my mother's. And I'm not going to let it happen to anybody else.
If you
I'd
go
rather
back,
die. I would rather die.
Celeste, listen to me. If you go back, this person's gonna be doing this to you. And I know that to you it feels just as bad as him doing it to your family. But I've seen people escape relationships like that. They've been scarred and broken. That's why the temple was formed. If you go back on your own, I dread to think what would happen to you. Especially if this is the kind of depth that this person's gonna go to threaten you.
Melissa, this is not going to be the only one.
I know.
And if I don't go back, I'm going to end up with pieces of my family.
If you go back alone, then you're gonna be miserable, and I myself couldn't live with you being like that. Come back to the camp. We'll sit down and discuss what's going on. And then, you, me, Florian, Miette, Snow, 2 dwarves, maybe even Trelator if we can convince him. We're gonna come along. We're gonna find this guy. And we are gonna fill him, well, let's just say we're gonna sever his body and leave him with just a hand. If we're making threats like this. Now, I don't know where you've come from. For all I know, it could be anywhere. But what I said to you back then when you told us about this holds true. It may not be proper oaths, not sworn to much, but as a heart seeker, it's my role to make sure that love is in this world and people aren't being hurt. I pledge myself to you, darling, that I would keep you safe. And if that means going back and filling this guy full of arrows, then that's what I'll do. But not tonight. Let's go back and rest off the doozy of a day we've had. And stay safe with your friends. As I said, Dar is a dangerous place. Okay? And I'm just kind of stood there with my hands on Celeste's shoulders, just kind of looking at her, waiting for a response.
Tonight, I'm going back with or without everybody.
Well, we'll discuss it. We've got a few things to talk about, and this is on that list. We ain't let monstrous stuff like this go on. Okay? You can keep it as much a secret as you want. We can only give the barest details to them. But these are good people. Yeah, even Trelator. and we'll make sure that the right is done. All right.
Fine.
I'll hug her and then lead her back to the camp.
Okay, so while that was happening, back in camp, I assume more drinking and maybe some singing.
Oh yes.
No drinking from Florian. Hasn't touched it since I got it out, but will
Okay.
be on just a little bit more of an awareness since he noticed Melissa having a few tipples.
Because
so
if he
not-
drinks, he's going to be on the Florian.
Pretty much. Tell you what, you can have an inspiration for that. Go on. So, is there anything anyone would like to do?
I'd like to just have a look around camp. Wouldn't go out of the firelight. Wouldn't go over to where Melissa and Celeste went, but just do like a perimeter check.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
It's let me down, Nat. It's let me down.
You basically
Five.
you've fitted it, haven't you?
Yeah, basically.
It was doing okay, and then it's been in your possession for too long, and it's just gone to shit. 5. Yeah. It was definitely a camp.
Mm.
You remember it well. You've been here before once, and yeah, it's great.
Cool. I'll just be kind of looking over everyone else, and yeah.
Okay, so Melissa and Celeste get back to camp looking concerned, shall we say.
You okay? Is it a good present?
I'll just thrust the box into his hands.
I'll have a look.
Yes, there is an elven hand, an elven woman's hand in the box.
I assume this has a story behind it.
It's my
We'll
mum.
discuss that in just a moment. And I'll kind of set Celeste down, and I'm going to step over to Florian and whisper to him in Infernal. And I'll say, abusive spouse, don't think the marriage went through. Making threats to try and make Celeste come back. We are not letting him get her back.
Am I close enough to have heard that?
Should make Melissa make a stealth check, and Miette make a perception check.
I will give the box back to Celeste.
Yeah, not the most fun of presents. But at least it wasn't a gem, huh?
Stealth, 16.
16 Miette. You got beat at 16.
Would have been decent if not for my D4. That's only a 13.
13. No, you hear them, Melissa whispering something to Florian, but it's just too far away to catch.
I will reply again in Infernal.
Okay, I'd like you to make a stealth roll as well then.
Do I get to make a new perception check?
I'll say this was the same conversation, so as long as if he beats a 13,
I rolled 13 and I have a +3 with no minuses. Sorry.
okay. So yeah, you don't hear this.
You people don't make eavesdropping easy.
I'll be like, okay, I understand, but is something we're doing now? I've got to put Dakota and this on hold for a bit.
About to discuss. I'm about to discuss it.
And
No.
if anyone is paying attention, if they're just watching or whatever for the first time since the whole big reveal, as such, you'll see Florian nod quite diligently at Melissa, and then go to look towards the rest of the group, ready for what's going to be said.
I'll kind of then step away from Florian and kind of address the group. So, a lot has happened today. It seems like we got a few different things to be following. I was gonna be starting talking about something that Sifra told me, but it seems as though someone's threatening Celeste. Now, we don't know where they are, and of course we don't know where Celeste has come from, but these people have obviously followed her. Same as the unfortunate gentleman that crash landed on the table. But I don't want Celeste walking off and facing that alone. Because I fear for her safety. Seeing as they're more than willing to, well, Predator, you saw her in that box. So that's one thread that we shall follow. I'm not privy to give details. I'll leave that to Celeste if she wishes.
I think we've gone past the choice whether to share details or not. If we're going to get in the middle of this, then we need to know exactly who we're going up against, where we're going to find them, and how we're going to kill them.
Yeah.
That is an attitude I love.
I'm a little motivated. I also want to kill the person that killed my friend, but, you know.
I'm also in two minds, but we've all come a
Yeah.
long way together, and if we're
Well,
going to do this, then I think that as one, we do what we need to do.
the other half of what I wanted to discuss was, and I've lost my notes, hang on. Wasn't good.
Always at the best time.
Now, as I said before, I don't believe that Vale is responsible for what has been happening. She fled the house. She didn't want to be part of that life. And outside of her time at the temple, a lot of her time spent researching to find ways to stop devils from incurring. That is why I am so well trained. Be able to handle devils when they show up. Same with demons, same with fae, same with undead. From what Sifra said, when the temple was attacked, Vale and Dunnox went south to the Dead Forest, apparently in search of something that would be useful in the emergency of devils incurring. I understand that none of you might fully trust what I say about Vale, but working on my knowledge and everything I can work out, and based on what we saw in that temple with the trident, I think us putting that gem in that seed awoke something ancient that very few people remember. And whatever that is, it's trying to reclaim the temple. I do not know what those creatures were that were imitating the members of the temple and imitating your friend, and were responsible for their deaths. But from what Sifra said, they seemed to be attacking, and it prompted Vale and Dunnox to flee and make quickly to the south. I think that what might be happening is some kind of fiendish incursion. Devils coming through, like we saw when we escaped out of that cavern. And I'll turn to Florian at this point. And I think they may well be the ones responsible for Dakota's disappearance. And
I could not agree more, and I think that Dakota, for whatever reason, is that chalice, that key for bringing something back. But as far as I'm aware, I might be reading this all wrong, but I think that they do need me. I'm something to do with this as well, so as long as I'm not going where I shouldn't go,
You are the other half.
I'm happy to help any of y'all get through anything to make this world just a slightly better place.
indeed, and that is something I'm going to do as well. Now, obviously, my first instinct is to strike off south and go find Vale and help her. But I also don't want to leave Celeste worrying for the safety of her family.
And forgive us, Celeste. Melissa's been talking and telling us this story, but there ain't no way we're gonna change your mind, is there? You're gonna go in the morning, and you're gonna go and find this person, aren't you?
There is a hand in the box that belongs to my mother. From my betrothed. The person my father promised me to.
I'm confused though, because like you said you weren't from here, so how was the box with your mum's hand here, and how are we going to find this bloke if he's not here either? And what? It's really confusing.
I would.
I
Sorry,
don't
go
know,
on.
but I can't wait around for more pieces of my family to turn up.
Did he say not to go?
He knew where I was. So I can only assume that if I go back there, he will find me.
I don't want to be that person, but are you certain that your father's not involved? If he promised you to this man.
And for the first time ever, you see just sort of a hard look on Celeste's face. My father would be capable of something like this also.
And Gus, just to try and work this out a little bit, you remember that day we first met each other? They've got ways, they know how to follow Celeste somehow, and it looks like that in this time we've been together, they've become more adept at doing that.
My mother was with my baby sister.
You say baby, and please don't tell me it was a baby. You mean younger?
Younger.
Right.
Well,
In that
that's
case, let's get a good rest tonight, and we're heading back to Dar.
And on that
Hey.
note, that's where we'll end.
Absolutely emotional right at the end there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, overall, it was a lovely, happy episode to have for New Year's. Really happy.
Upbeat, Christmassy episode, because, I love you all so much.
I mean,
Me and
the
Melissa
DM, for
literally
not making any promises, didn't kill any of the players.
To be fair,
To be
me
fair,
and
you
Melissa
don't know if
literally
I've
had
killed anybody at all.
we had the same thought process there. It was Melissa was Forest and Vale, and mine was basically Dakota and whatever the fuck's going on. But because we're both from the same temple, it was kind of like, I literally thought, what do I roll if I wanted to see if Florian would make that decision? What do I do?
Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. I know it was
Oh
a
yeah,
little bit different and a bit more chattery paced than fighty paced, but you know, can't fight every week. Well, you could, but I didn't think you guys were quite up for a fight this evening, being as you started
It
off.
certainly would have been interesting if we had one.
Yeah, healers tapped and people on, was it 5 health you
Yeah.
guys had?
I started.
you had 5.
5.
Yeah.
Both the
5.
dwarves were on 5.
So with those 11s we got, I went from 9 to 20, and my HP is 27. Hence why I was like, I'm kind of looking good at the minute.
Yeah, those two were not looking good at all.
Sorry.
I started on 5. I got 11 from me and 5, I think, from Celeste.
Yeah, I think we've got the lowest person is still, I think, Melissa at 14.
Yeah, I went from 13 to 14.
And annoyingly, the only thing I can do to help heal people is by punching somebody first, basically. So it's kind of like,
I know much has been made of like your bad hit dice, but like, I'm sorry, I've only just realised how bad. It's like you're one
yeah.
of our main fighters, and you have 1 hit point more than me.
Yeah. So
God.
bearing in mind, we all start off with a maximum what you would get from a hit dice for your character, for your race, whatever it is. And I've been able to roll 3 more of them, and it's been 2, 2, and 7. That's what it's been.
It really has. But anyway,
Wow.
thank you ever so much for playing this evening. If there's any questions or anything you want to talk through, I'm quite happy to do so.
Well, I have questions of the not entirely serious, but probably won't get addressed either because it doesn't really matter.
Go on,
And also question of the very serious, and you'll find out later at some point if you're lucky, type of thing.
ask away. Let's see.
So, how the hell does a tabaxi grow a beard?
I mean, yeah, I really don't know. I mean, possibly you could start by, I don't know, tying it off so that it was.
What's that word?
weighted.
Extension? Get them
Yeah,
woven into the
weighted.
really, really short chin hairs.
Yeah, you could sort of weight them, I suppose, and get almost dread it into a beard.
Would a belt of dwarven kind just make them grow a beard, or would they just be very
I think they
hairy?
just go.
Oh my god. Super
Face,
floofy.
the face fur just goes.
Yeah, I think if a belt of dwarven kind, the whole cat would just go. It should be the fluffiest thing ever.
No, to sell
Basically
hair
become
for
a
dwarven
yeti.
kind.
We could always shave the next baddie we kill and weave its hair into your facial hair to give you a beard.
Because of course that's the most sensible option you've got there, James.
Yeah. James, are you okay?
There is a fine line between Gus and James, and it's very,
No,
very blurry.
There is no line. So, and your other question, Miss D?
Yeah, now your question I'm kind of going to present to Melissa when we start going south again, but it's the whole thing of why is a demon who's dedicated her life to fighting undead going to a place where the undead live? That doesn't seem like a good place to go for help.
Whereas Melissa knows, Vale was researching it, and she mentioned at one point that there was something within the dead forest that would be helpful for handling an incursion of devils.
Yet we'll also be sharing the reputation of no one comes out of there. No one.
Well,
Although, given our luck to, find hidden paths to the hells and raise temples up from underground, fuck knows.
Indeed.
well, no, that Melissa is also trained to fight Fae and undead, so if anyone should go into the dead forest, it should be someone who's trained to deal with what's in there.
Or is that what just you were taught to believe?
Yeah, that's the thing, because I seriously don't believe that the real Vale will be in this forest either. That would be entirely too easy and too soon in the campaign.
Personally, knowing the relationship between Melissa and Vale and my relationship with Melissa, what happened in the last episode with the fight and everything what Melissa has come up with now, Florian's trust is kind of teetering on the positive again.
If I were you, I wouldn't know if I was coming or going.
The last 2 episodes, I haven't. If I'm being honest with you, it's like stay in character.
To be fair, Melissa is exactly the kind of character that you really don't know if you should trust or not.
Yep, that's definitely coming across.
I mean, I make no... It's obvious that this is a cult. Like, there's no ifs or buts about it. I mean, even the kind of funerary thing that Melissa did is kind of culty.
That was the other thing. I mean, apart from it being like slightly meta-y, but apart from it being a narrative plot hook, how do we know the young tiefling was actually, telling the truth, or was she just completely mind-addled from her experience?
To be fair, Florian did insight check her.
Yeah. That's why we have Fiddy here.
Who has me insight checked at this point?
Well,
That's an insight check for me. But this is my understanding of mechanics. Is an insight check not this is what the character believes and distinct from this is the truth?
I mean, you can get a gauge of what that character believes is true. And if I say that character believes that what they're saying is true, then that's what you're going to get for me.
Fair enough.
An insight check is gauging whether you believe the person giving all their facial clues and body language is telling what they believe is the truth, or telling the truth. It's not a lie detector test, but it's not. As with any of these things, they're subjective. So you get what they believe,
And you take from it what you will. So
yeah.
you play as your character as to what you would believe, not
It's
believe.
also to do with like instincts of being able to tell kind of how
bullshit,
a creature is thinking.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, any other questions? Yorick, Trelador, Celeste?
Interesting about the dragons, though.
Mm.
Reorc's telling us that they've got to stop killing dragons.
Yeah, I started as Reorc and then forgot that you lot were doing West Country accents. I was just fucking rolled it.
Yeah.
I
That's
did.
fine. I figured that you did that because a god is meant to be strong and powerful does not go with West Country accent.
I don't know. Darth Vader was a West Country actor, wasn't he?
Exactly.
No,
And they dubbed him.
I am your father.
No, Luke, don't do that.
I've altered the contract. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Movies would have had a very different flavour.
They would have been brilliant. I would so be there for it.
I am your father.
I am, you know. So, Celeste, any thoughts on being the subject of arc stress, or not processed that yet? No words yet. Okay. I think you might have broken Natalie. Okay.
Arc stress.
Well, why have 1 or 2 people with arc stress when you could have like 3 or 4?
Yeah, I have to say my stomach absolutely dropped when you said, yeah, there's only one person alive there. And it's like, oh shit.
So,
Fiddy, ask the question.
I remembered my other question.
Oh, got it.
Unless Fiddy has one.
No, you go first.
Like, the monster in the temple was like absorbing people's memories to recreate them, but was doing that with Vale without Vale being one of the bodies. So,
Oblitzes are very strange. As they attack, they can cast a eat memories, where they don't necessarily have to kill the person, but they absorb some of your memories. Hence the D4, D6, D8 on your ability check. When you get to a D20, that's it's all over. So Vale and Dunks got away before they got to that point. Everybody else didn't get away. So there were no bodies of Vale and Dunks, but it stole
had
some of
suffered
their
damage.
memories, so therefore they could recreate them.
That's what I was thinking as to
Oblix is
why.
really cool. I love them. They're great.
That's what I was thinking as to why Hargrim appeared. Because I thought, oh, well, he's been drawn from the memories of like Snow or the dwarves. Now,
No, Hargrim was just very, very unlucky and was in the Temple of Rest when they moved to the Temple of the Broken Heart and got caught. I actually rolled for it to see what would happen if he had survived, but unfortunately he didn't.
So after a big fight last session and massive arse stress, do we level up today? Are we rolling a D100 against this?
Okay.
Oh God.
Okay, so the bone dice, because they've been lovely to me all evening. Thank you, Nat.
So it's Nat's fault. Okay.
cool.
What'd you roll, Finny?
I rolled 72.
72. Awesome. Then you're all level 5.
Neat.
I said I would do it.
Wow.
Good. Well done.
What did you roll?
You now need to roll a 2
I
on
rolled
your hit dice.
50.
Oh.
So 50-50 chance.
And
Exactly.
again, by the way, that was actually with Nat's new dice as well.
Yeah,
So
but you'll have corrupted them now. Next time they'll be shit.
So if I get blamed for one thing, do I also get, the good for the other?
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. We're equal opportunities.
Let's do hit dice. Let's go around the room. Let's start with Yorick. What'd you get?
6.
6.
Cool.
Nice. Trenador. Trenador? Can't hear you.
And here you Dan.
10.
10.
Nice.
Nice. Snow.
6.
6. Lovely. Gus.
9.
9. Melissa.
7.
Good. Nice. Yeah.
Well,
Ones get re-rolled, right?
Yes.
Then 6.
6. Lovely. Celeste.
5.
5. Not bad. Florian.
you ready for this? You ready for this? Here we go.
Drum roll, please.
come on, Teddy.
3.
Ow.
So to put this into perspective,
Wow.
out of 5d8, right, and the first one is a maximum.
10,
Out of 5d8, I've only
8,
rolled
10,
22.
12, 19, 22.
You've rolled 14 of that.
Yeah, basically.
You
So
got
me and you are the 2 front liners. What's your max hit points?
Mine,
14 over
Yeah.
48.
32 right now, as of level 5.
Mine's 62.
Consider average on d8s of 4d8. Florian has rolled 14. Average of 4d8 is 20.
Right.
So,
Okay, well, what we're going to do, we're going to lose the stream, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back again next week. In the meantime, don't hesitate to check out lovely people that we follow. Adam Chapman, Muffzilla, and Roleplay Gamers. Please go check them out. They're fantastic. Do love and support them in any way you can. So, bye-bye, y'all. See you next week now.
Bye-bye now.